What's up, Fallible Nation? Welcome to Manly Monday Live with the Fallible Man. My name is Brent. I am the Fallible Man, and it is awesome to have you here today. I'm so excited about tonight's show. Be sure and drop us a comment. These shows are so much better when you guys participate, and I love you guys being involved. Hey, Jess, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Guys, be sure to tell us in the comments if you're new to the show, where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us? We'd like to know who you are. And hey, if you're on Facebook and you don't see this cute little thing right here, when you try and make a comment where you can actually have a picture and stuff, you have to authorize StreamYard, which is the service I use to do these podcasts, these episodes of the live show. You have to authorize them to be able to see you if you want to have that. Otherwise, you show up as a letter, kind of like this. And that's okay too. We're just really excited to see you guys. And I am so excited for tonight's show. Be sure and fill out the form underneath wherever you're watching on Facebook and YouTube. There's a digital form linked in the description of the show. And if you want to come on later during our Q&A portion of the show, you can fill that out and ask your question personally. That way I can send you a link to the show and you can come on live on air and ask your questions, or put a QQ in front of it in the chat below. You see it in the chat box if you have a question, and we will try and dig into your question as well. Guys, on tonight's show, we are digging into how to talk to your kids. Now, it's strange, right? Because everybody finds the things that are difficult for them. And to me, this doesn't seem like a particularly difficult subject, but I know a lot of parents who really struggle with connecting and communicating with their children. So tonight, we're going to really dig into that. Communicating with children is a difficult art form only because it evolves and grows constantly throughout the life of your child, right? Your kid doesn't stay the same age. So as your child is little and a toddler and a little kid growing up, then you communicate with them slightly different than you do as a teenager. And oh my goodness, the dreaded teenage years. But guys, tonight we're going to try and deep dive into this. And I've got a few tips that no matter what age your kids are or the kids in your life, you may be an aunt or an uncle, you may be a friend. No matter what age the children in your life are, guys, I promise these tips will actually help you communicate with them at all ages in their life. I have worked with children for well over 20 years of my life now, guys, in various capacities, as a youth minister, as a volunteer, as a teacher of sorts, all kinds of roles. And I have had the privilege of working with a lot of children. And all of these that I'm going to share with you guys tonight have worked very efficiently with all the children I've worked with from every age, and I have worked all the age range. So be sure and shout out in the comments. Let us know where you're joining us from. Hey, Katie, great to have you on tonight. I'm excited to see everybody here. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, guys, as we are talking kids tonight, there are some really important things, and I even brought a slideshow, so I hope that works for you guys. But tonight, I want to share with you a couple really simple ideas. And the first one about how to talk to your kids is you've got to walk the talk. So I'm going to click over here. Sorry, I'm using a new software, so we'll see how this goes. We're going to click over here so you can see it. You got to walk the talk, guys. Walking the talk is incredibly important. Now, if you aren't understanding what I'm saying about walking the talk, then let me clarify for you. Kids know your bullshit even when you don't. You must become honest with yourself and transparent with your kids to an extent. Now, that does not advocate that children are exactly the same as you, that you have to be exactly on the same level with them, but you do have to become honest and transparent. Don't expect your kids to act differently than you do. So if you don't like how much time your kids spend on a screen, you better look at your own life and what you're doing. If you want your kids to be active, then you got to get off your ass and you've got to be active. I actually started eating vegetables in my life as a person who's never liked vegetables, never wanted vegetables, and never enjoyed them. I actually started eating vegetables in decent amounts or better when my children were born, because I knew that my children would see what I was doing and they would act accordingly and follow suit. That's how it works. You are the ultimate example. So guys, you got to walk the talk. If you tell your kids, hey, I want you to spend, less time in front of the TV, make sure you're not spending a lot of time in front of a screen, of all screens. If you want your kids to be healthy, then you got to live healthy. You have to set that example. If you don't want your kids to yell and scream, then you need to understand how you react and how your temperament work. Now, I know that's a huge headache, right? And it's a lot to take on because your kids are looking at you, not what you say particularly all the time. We all wish they would listen to what we say, not what we do. But the fact is, kids pay attention to what you do. They look to you to see how you resolve conflict. They look at you to set the example for how you face adversity. They look at you to see how you follow through on a promise. They look at you to set the example in all these things. And they are looking at what you're saying, but more what you're doing. Okay. You can say one thing. That's why you hear people say, do what I say, not what I do, right? All that old crap that's obnoxious. Guys, it doesn't work because kids are masters at sniffing through that stuff. If you want your children to act a certain way, if you want your children to pick up certain things, if you want your children to learn some certain things, then you're going to have to set that example and walk the talk. Now, guys, if you are into tonight's show, tonight, later on the episode, we will be giving away a mouse pad. Now, we had several people roll for this last time. Here we go. An official Manly Monday mouse pad. In package, guys. Never been used, never been opened. No mouse has ever rubbed itself across this surface. And if you are interested in winning a mouse pad, be sure and put in #mouse in the comment section. Now, the rules are simple, guys. You have to be here for the drawing, and I'm not going to do that towards the end until the end. So you got to be here for the show if you want to win the mouse pad. That's just how it works. What are you going to do, right? It's just how it is. But that's how this rolls. And guys, we're going to keep rolling right in to this. So we talked about walking the talk. The next thing you got to do is you have to get on their level. Now, this is a really funny concept when I say this to people because people take it in a lot of different ways. But when I say you got to get on the level, you're saying mouse is upsetting the kitten. I'm apparently confusing Jesse's cat tonight. Guys, if you want to get on the level, I'm not meaning like you got to level with them, like, man to man, mano a mano. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about getting physically on their level. You see, the world of children is complicated in the fact that the whole world is bigger than them. Think of it like a bug's life kind of thing, right? Next to a cricket, a person's a monster. Well, your children start pretty small. So if you want to communicate with your kids, and guys, this actually works with adults as well. You need to be on their level. You need to get eye to eye with them and actually communicate at them. Anytime that the physical stature changes and you are over them, then they feel it's an intimidation thing. And it's not like you are trying to scare your kids or intimidate your kids, or maybe you are, I don't know. But it is a lording over. No one wants to be talked down to. No one wants to feel like someone's yelling at them, right? That's scary. So if you want to effectively communicate with your children, then one of the best tools that you can do, and this happens from the time they are little all the way to teenagers, guys, is you want to position yourself physically in a equal plane with them. Now, if you want to go the extra mile, don't just do it for discipline either. If you want to really connect with your kids, what I want you to do is I want you to get on their level in everything you do. If you're playing, hey, if they're playing on the floor, get down on the floor and play with them. If you're cuddling with them, right, be on the same level. If you're trying to teach them something, get on the same physical level. One of the things I did in my house that I'm very proud of is I built a play place in my living room for my children. One of the greatest benefits of this play place is I built a multi-level play place in my living room. From the time my children have been very little, without having to get down on the floor, I can actually get them to where they are seated and facing eye to eye at the same level with me very easily. And so it has been not only a place of play, but when I've had to have a serious conversation with them or talk to them, when I've had to explain difficult things to them, I pick them up and set them there so we could get eye to eye, which has helped me because for some of us, getting up and down off the floor can be uncomfortable and is not always the easiest thing to manage to pull that off. So, seriously, guys, number two, I want you to get on their level. Whether you're disciplining them, whether you're just having a conversation with them, if you're trying to teach them, even when you're playing with them, getting on their level will make your kids feel like you are emotionally and physically connecting with them at a whole nother level. So that's number two. Now, guys, hopefully you're getting something out of this. Whatever platform you're on, I want you to reach out right now to one of your friends who knows how to take care of their kids, but maybe they're stressed or frustrated. Maybe they've got some difficulties as they're becoming parents or as they're working through being a parent that could benefit from some of these tips we're talking about tonight. I want you to text them or message them on whatever platform you're on and invite them to the show. I want to meet them too. And I want them to get the most out of being a parent, because being a parent is a lot of fun. Being an aunt is a lot of fun. Being an uncle is a lot of fun. So you might as well get the most out of it. And these tips will help you communicate with those people very well. Now, let's keep going. Back on screen. Oh, I broke that. Hey, there we go. New software, man, just messing me up. Number three, guys, I want to introduce you to the concept of choice theory. And if you're not familiar with choice theory, this doesn't pertain strictly to children. Choice theory is something incredibly unique that not everybody gets taught about. Choice theory puts power in people's hands, which is an amazing thing, because as I said in point two, no one wants to be talked down to. No one wants to feel like they're talking at, right? That's why I like the show, because I like interacting with you guys, I like talking to you guys in the comments. I love seeing you and getting your feedback on the show in real time. I like answering your questions. It makes my life a whole lot of fun, because then it's a conversation. It's not just me talking at you, right? So choice theory continues along that line. And let me be really clear, okay? As I share with you the concept of choice theory, if you haven't heard of this before, this will be fun. If you have heard of it before, maybe I can clarify some things for you. Choice theory is not letting your children call the shots. I've heard it messed up that way. I've heard the whole concept bastardized, and it's not you allowing your children to decide all of their fate and call the shots and set their own parameters. What it is allowing your children to pick their fate and their parameters within the bounds you've set for them, which still gives them an air of control. And every kid wants to feel like they have some control. One of the hardest things about being a child is the fact that you don't have control over most of your life. You have very little say in the majority of things you do. Choice theory replaces this and puts kids' destinies in their own hands, so to say. So I want you to learn to present choices, and it works something like this. So say your child has done something that you don't believe is appropriate in your household or whatever, it's against the rules. And so you say, hey, if you've chosen to do this, so there are consequences. So here are your options. You can either A, lose your TV privileges for X amount of time, or B, you can go and just be grounded for a week, right? Depending on the age group of kid you're talking about. Now, in all cases, that doesn't work, because if you take away their television privileges, does that mean you're going to banish them to their room anytime somebody else wants us to watch TV? So that may not be the best example, but it's letting them choose their fate. Here is the rule that we set. If you break this rule, there is a penalty. That penalty is in your hands. You can either do this or you can do that. Now, either choice, the child will not necessarily like. Either choice will help reaffirm the action that you're trying to impress upon them not to do. However, it lets that child control their destiny. It lets them understand that there are consequences, but in this case, they have some say over how those consequences play out. children will often punish themselves, especially younger children will often punish themselves far harsher than you ever would have done. I did that with my daughter one day, and it was like, she's like, I guess I'm have to go sit on my bed for the whole day. Like, it was so dramatic. It was kind of hilarious. I was trying not to laugh as a parent, those moments you do, but it gives them some control, and having control makes them feel empowered. It also makes them feel respected. And I know there's a fine line between discipline and respect and all that as a parent, but helping your child feel respected will help them learn to expect to be respected. It will help them learn to expect it from other people, that they're worthy of respect, and it will help them connect with you in an incredible way. Now, this is something that has to be taught and it's going to be tested. Okay. If you try choice therapy, I promise you, or choice theory, I promise you, your kids are going to push those buttons because, well, let's face it, kids can push buttons and it's just what they do. But so you will take some adjustment to do this, but this is something you can introduce down as young as a toddler all the way through the teenage years, and giving them that power, giving them some say. Like I said, they don't have to like either penalty. In fact, they probably shouldn't. But letting them decide their fate puts the power in their hands, makes them feel like they have some say in the world, and actually connects you way better than you will think. Some people will think that I'm crazy when I say that. Some people are like, well, you're essentially telling the kid they can do whatever they want. That is not what we're saying, guys. Not at all. So please don't think that. But it will give them power to feel like they have some control over their lives. And giving them that power will buy you a lot of goodwill with them. Feeling like they have some say in how their life runs is actually very powerful and will create a better response for you as a parent once they start to understand how this works. So that is point number 3. Now, guys, I want you to sound off. And we got people coming and going. I know not everybody can stay on the live stream. So if you're joining us new, guys, be sure and shout out in the chat. I love to interact with you guys. We are talking about how to talk to your kids effectively. And I am sharing tonight specifically 6 ways, 6 pieces that will help you communicate and talk to your children from the age of toddlers all the way up to teenagers, guys, very effectively for the rest of their life. If you have any questions, be sure and put a QQ in it in the chat. And guys, this is your part of the show. I want to know, what is the secret to communicating with your kids, in your opinion? What is your idea? How do you, if you're an aunt, if you're an uncle, if you're a parent, however you are in our chat tonight, what is your secret to communicating effectively with your kids? Now, I want you to think about that while we take this short bat dance break, except I don't have my music. Oh, I can't bat dance tonight. Well, we can. How's that? We'll bat dance. We'll do a little bat dance. Come on, get up. Wherever you're watching this, guys, I want you to bat dance with me. Except for you, Jared. I know you're listening in the car. Don't bat dance in the car. Everybody else, throw a little bat dance and tell me in the comments, guys, what is your secret to communicating with kids? What is the magic that has worked for you? Shout it out. I want to share this with the community. We're here to help each other, and that you taking part of this helps everybody immensely. Also, be sure and put hashtag mouse in the chat if you want a chance to win one of our lovely mouse pads. I've only seen it go up once tonight, guys, so someone's going to have a really easy win. That's one of the great things about my show is you have a pretty good chance of winning, except for Dave, because Dave just never wins. And I don't see Dave with us tonight. I'm sorry to see that. I know Common Man's been traveling this weekend, so hopefully he is home safe and just not with us tonight. Number 4 is I want you to follow through. One of the biggest problems that parents have is follow through becomes weak for them. They say things, they threaten things, but the truth is rules cannot be arbitrary. They need to be something that is steadfast and solid. So if you set rules or guidance in your house, you have to follow through. If you say, hey, this is the rule, this is what we're doing, then you need to be prepared to enforce that rule. Otherwise, it's better that you just don't make the rule. In fact, if you make rules and don't enforce them, then that is when you really start to run into problems, because the minute you aren't enforcing the rules, the minute you aren't following through, your children are going to push and push and push to find out exactly how far they can go before you just lose it, right? And that's how things escalate too quickly. That's how we react out of anger instead of out of love and guidance. Now, Katie is sharing with us. Katie Powell says, be genuine whether it's a fun time or not. Or sorry, be genuine whether it's a fun time or a tough time. And that is 100%. We talked about in number 1 that you have to walk the talk, right? You have to be authentic with your kids. You have to be very apparent that this is who you are. Kids can smell deceit a mile away, and it does nothing good for you. So thank you for sharing with us, Katie. I really appreciate. If you guys have whatever that secret sauce is for you in communicating with children, then please share it in the comments, guys, because that really helps us as we build this community. And if you're watching this on the replay, guys, hey, I haven't forgot about you guys. I love you guys, because I know some people watch this in the off hours. They can't be with us live. Comment down below this video. Tell us what your secret sauce is for communicating with kids, whether they're your kids, whether they're your nieces and nephews, whether they're kids you teach, whether they're your friends' kids. You have a relationship with children in your life. So what works for you effectively to communicate with those children? Please shout that out and just be part of the community and help us all out. Let's see. There we go. Next, number 5, guys. We are cruising through tonight. Did I go to number 5? I did. I can't see it. The controls are over my window. Oh, no. Like I said, guys, new feature on the software. Sorry about that. Hey, Cam, great to have you. Let's jump into this. Cam was sharing with us. If you're honest with them and they're honest, if you're honest with them, they're honest with you. That is very true. Establishing that trust relationship. In fact, Cam, that is perfect timing and great. That's just awesome timing. Thank you so much for sharing that, because number 5 is establish trust. One of the most important things you can do as a parent to establish good communication with your children is you have to establish trust and honesty with your kid. Now, parenting requires a great deal of trust from the children. And as adults, sometimes we don't look at it that way. We're like, hey, you have to trust me. I'm the adult. That's not true at all. Okay. It requires a great deal of trust from your children. And for a lot of children, that's naturally born into that with your parents. However, the first time that gets trashed, okay, the first time that trust is broken, earning that back with your children is incredibly difficult to do, because you are so important as a parent in their life, or as an aunt or as an uncle, someone as an adult they are trusting and close to. A lot of children award you that trust easily, but once you break it just one time, guys, reestablishing that trust is incredibly difficult, because it's the difference between someone you barely know saying something bad about you and someone you trust with your life turning on you. Okay, it's a source of betrayal. So you have to establish honesty is just a constant policy. They have to believe that you're always acting in their best interest, and that they aren't misguided in believing that. And it's not a foregone conclusion. Just because it's your kid or someone close to you does not mean that they automatically trust you to that extent. In fact, a lot of parents kind of blow it at this point, because they just assume it's foregone, right? Oh yeah, they're going to trust me. I'm a parent. But that's not true, especially if they feel like you haven't followed through on a promise or you've misled them. Once a child catches any form of deceit, is a huge uphill battle. So honesty is incredibly important. One of the things I've always done with my children, and I continue to try and do, is I tell them the truth. I've taken my child to the doctor and held her as she got shots, right? So she'd go to school, and she told me, is this going to hurt? And I said, yeah, baby, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt about this bad. And it's going to hurt for a minute. And 5 minutes from now, it's not even going to bother you anymore. But yeah, it's going to hurt. I've seen parents lie to their kids But take your kid for shots. Trust me, they will find out you're a liar really quick if you try and tell them it's not going to hurt. Because for a kid, it hurts for a minute. I know adults who don't like shots. So establishing that core honesty with your children will encourage them to be honest with you, and it will help establish a trust that is just very solid. And for your kid to listen to you when you're communicating with them, when you're talking to them, they have to feel like they can trust you. Now, I want to hit back for half a second. So we talked about walking the talk, getting on the level. We've talked about choice theory some. And if you miss those guys, you can watch the replay or we can dig into it a little more during the Q&A time. Number 4 was follow through. If you set rules and guidance, you got to follow through consistently. You cannot just be like, I'll follow through when I want to, right? They need the consistency on those rules. Number 5 is you've got to establish trust and honesty. You have to keep that honest so the child can always trust you, because once they don't, as someone who is close to you, that betrayal, it is almost, it's so hard to get it back. That is not the battle you want to fight. Now, guys, as we're cruising through here, I want you to think about how beautiful this would look on your desk wherever you are. Our friend it is the holiday season, so I will try and get it out the mail quickly. For any of you who won those books back when we had, I just went blank. I wasn't even planning to talk about this. Let me see. Stephen Crane, sorry. I still have not received those from Stephen. He sent them to my house. So if you won those books, I have not forgot about you. They have just not arrived at my house. Apparently, Stephen doesn't have Prime shipping or something. And as soon as they get here, I will get them in the mail to you, I promise. But everybody else should have gotten stuff. I've sent them already. Guys, I love sharing things with you because I love you being part of the community. And I'm just excited to spend time with you. Put a QQ in the question in the chat, QQ in front of your question if you got questions in the chat, or hit the form under this video if you want to come on live during the show and ask your question in person, because I can send you the link and you can be right here on screen with me, and that would be cool. We had Oliver Marcel, my friend, come on and talk to Dr. Heim, and that was just such a cool experience to have 3 of us up here discussing a question in real time, and I hope you guys enjoyed that live stream. Now, the final point I want to share with you guys about how to talk to your kids, and some of these may seem weird as we're talking about talking to your kids, but these all go to the core of your relationship with your children to make it possible for you to talk to them effectively and for them to listen. So these are all necessary steps. And the last one I want to share with you is you're not their friend. This is probably one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate seeing this. There is this new age, new parent, last 20-year kind of swing, and maybe it's older than that. I'm just not old enough to remember, parenting 20 years ago. But this idea of being a friend, your kids are going to have so many friends come and go in their lives, guys. What they need is a parent. They need that consistency and security of a parent who treats them consistently the same way, who is rock solid. They walk the talk, they set boundaries, and they enforce them. They need that consistency of you being their parent, someone who looks after them, someone who is authoritative to them, someone who is both kind and genuine with them, but always looks and acts in their best interest. Kids are going to come and go, guys. Or not, sorry, your kids' friends are going to come and go. If you're lucky, some of them will be really great and they'll stick around forever. I just had an incredible weekend. My friend Jared, who's on the road right now, Jared's usually on our live streams. I haven't actually gotten to physically see him in 25 years. And Jared came up and hung out for a couple of days because we live a little ways apart, like 6 hours. So be safe on the road tonight, Jared. I know you're driving, but Jared and I went to junior high together, guys. We've known each other since the 5th grade. I have one other friend that I've known that long. Okay. So a lot of your kids' friends are going to come and go. They need the consistency of a parent. Your job is to guide, protect, nurture, teach, and be that consistent foundation. So no matter what their friends are doing, no matter what else is going on in their life, you are that solid foundation that helps them through the things they have to face in life. Now, guys, we are wrapping up the first half of this show pretty quickly. So if you want that mouse pad, type hashtag mouse, I think is what I had in there. Yep, mouse. Jesse, you overtyped that, sweetie. So type hashtag mouse if you want a chance to roll for this lovely mouse pad. Now, guys, you probably noticed this just continual theme along the way of the relationship you're going to have with that kid. The sooner you implement these ideas, the more solid of a foundation you can build. And like I said, you can start when they are toddlers with all of this. But the sooner you start, it will get ingrained and it will set a foundation with them that will come to build. And guys, if you build this foundation, you're going to have your 18-year-old who's going to be coming to you and communicating with you because they know they can, they know they're respected, they know that you have set boundaries and they're looking for that, right? To work inside that and understand their place in the world. Those boundaries and that honesty you've established, that consistency will grow huge in your relationship, guys. And all the many years I've worked with teenagers and children, and I have been working with teenagers and children most of my life, I can tell you this works from, I've actually used some of these concepts with 20-year-olds. So from 20 down, guys, it is rock solid. That's why I wanted to share these specific things with you. Now, guys, I hope those are useful things. Be sure and ask the questions. And it is time. It's time to get into our drawing, apparently, because I clicked the button really fast. So, our numbers are fluctuating today. This thing gives me real weird feedback on how many people are here. Hey, Common Man, join us, guys. Dave, tonight we're talking about communicating with kids and parenting. This applies to whether you're an aunt, an uncle, whether you work with children from 20 all the way down to toddlers. It all applies. You were just in time for the drawing section, which I went way too early. Hey, by the way, guys, tell me in the comments, do you like the music I put on the slides? I added the slides to last week's show to make them a little more fun. Do we like the sound effects that go with the slide? Does that make it a little better? Less downtime in there? Let me know what you think of that, guys. I added that today. I'm kind of excited about that. So it is time to get into the drawing, guys. Now, today's drawings for a Manly Monday mouse pad that will adorn your desk in a beautiful way. That was a great conversation starter. And you too can tell your friends about how you spend your Monday evenings. So it is last chance, guys. The hashtag is mouse. If you want this lovely mouse pad. And guys, I'm excited because I love giving you guys these things. So who's going to take this to work and put it on their desk? Let's find out. It says I have 0 entries. That can't be right. Let's try this again. Did I spell mouse right? Oh, there it is. We have 3 entries. One lucky person is putting this beautiful ornament on their desk. Here we go. I don't have my sound effects, guys. I wiped my soundboard on accident this week. It was a crazy week, and I totally screwed up my soundboard. Hey, congratulations, Dave. You finally won something. Woo! That's awesome. Congratulations, my friend Dave, the Common Man OCR, one of our constant viewers. Dave is almost always on the stream, and I love having him on here. I appreciate the support a great deal. Like a lot of you guys, he is a regular on the show, and I look forward to interacting with each and every one of you on Mondays. It makes my day better, and I just enjoy doing this. So, Dave, congratulations on the mouse pad, and I will get to that to you shortly. Luckily, I know how to get a hold of you, and I know how to find you pretty easily, so I don't have to stick that in the mail. I can just drop it off at your place. That was cool, man. You got things to do. I just appreciate you showing up on the show, brother. Now, let me check the mailroom, because I'm not seeing any questions tonight, so it might be a short show today, guys. Do we have any questions? Because then I can break out the other cool little slide that has music to it. Let's see. My wife is on. Sarah, do you see any questions in the comment section? If so, go ahead and pop them up on the stream. Going once, going twice. Maybe not tonight. Guys, as always, be better. Oh, where am I? I have no idea where you are, brother. Guys, as always, be better tomorrow because of what you do today. Thanks for being on the show, and we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Monday nights at 5 on Manly Mondays. Guys, have an incredible week. We'll see you in the next one.